going to actually get this refund under the park.
Call the honourable member Mike Sabin.
I move the question be now put.
I'm going to call Mr. Lees-Galloway.
That's an excellent choice. I think that's a fantastic choice. And given that there are more senior members than me seeking the call, maybe they'll get the call at the next opportunity, sir. Now, Part 2 of the Customs and Excise Budget Measures Motor Spirits Amendment Bill lays out the consequential amendments to the Land Transport Management Apportionment and Refund of Excise Duty and Excise Equivalent Duty Regulations 2004. Now, and essentially what this does is it gives a refund to predominantly farmers, but also other particular vehicle users who use their vehicles off-road. And actually, it seems a little bit anachronistic, actually, this, because it details in the schedule, we have a detail of all the vehicles that actually are exempt vehicles. Motor vehicles used only on road, solely in connection with agricultural operations, farmers' vehicles used on road solely in connection with agricultural operations, tractors or traction engines, farmers' tractors, agricultural contractors' tractors. So, yeah, lots to talk about tractors there. The principle here is that if a vehicle is used off-road, principally used off-road, then it shouldn't be paying fuel excise tax, because fuel excise tax is used to pay for roads and public transport and other transport initiatives. And these off-road vehicles are not using transport infrastructure because they're predominantly on-farm. I think it's strange that there's some that are missing here, vehicles that are predominantly used in forestry that don't go on public roads, maybe vehicles that are used predominantly in mining that don't go on public roads as well. I would have thought would have been covered by these types of exemptions. And yet they're missing, because what appears to have happened at some point in history, probably federated farmers have got in the ear of the National Party and said, hey, we need these exemptions. And so we've got these really specific exemptions, when the principle here is quite sound. From tax in general. Or the principle here is a strong one, though, that vehicles that are predominantly used off-road shouldn't have to pay fuel excise tax. That is how road user charges work, so that the diesel doesn't carry the road user charge, and therefore tractors that carry diesel are fuelled by diesel. They predominantly work off-road, and there is inconsistency here, Mr. Mallard. You're absolutely right. Maybe there'd be room for consistency by moving in one direction or the other, but it just seems bizarre that it's specifically about farmers, and I don't know whether that's the relationship with the National Party or not. But all these people who are using this exemption, we've perhaps raised where these exemptions can be rorted, but all the people who are using this exemption are working hard on their farms to produce produce that goes to market for sale, and it is still, of course, the backbone of our economy, our agricultural sector, and these people are working really, really hard. And what they want, of course, is a decent roading infrastructure that can actually get those products from farm to the market. Now, it's all well and good. It's all well and good. Decent railway interchange as well, Mr. Mallow, but it's all well and good to have roads of national significance running up and down the spine of New Zealand. But if we haven't got decent roads going from the farm or the forest or the mine to those roads of national significance, then what's the point of having these gold-plated, unaffordable roads up and down the middle of the country if the local roads aren't up to scratch? Now, I suggest that John Hayes goes and talks to the Mayor of Taurua District Council, Rolly Hayes. He's in Dannyvirk, interestingly enough. He might want to go and say, Rolly Ellis, sorry, no, you're absolutely right, Rolly Ellis. He wants to go and talk to him. He wants to go and talk to Rolly Ellis and talk to him about his concerns about the fact that his local roads are predominantly gravel roads, they're not sealed, and what Taurua is really looking forward to is when a considerable amount of forestry matures and comes on stream for logging, and that will be a significant source of revenue for that district. But the roads are predominantly gravel roads. They are not decent roads prepared to carry the trucks that will carry that important produce, the logs from the forest to the Port of Napier or to the road of national significance or to the railway line that will get them to market. So it's all well and good for the National Party to focus on their political roads, but the people who are working hard and get the exemptions laid out here in Part 2, sir, those people work as hard as they like. This government's not working for them. This government is not working for them, because what this bill does is it taxes New Zealanders to pay for those roads of political significance. And try as they might, even if they get these exemptions laid out in Part 2, and they are significant exemptions, 3.45 cents per litre every year, sir. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Jami-Lee Ross.
I move that the question be now put.
The question is that the question be now put. As many of that opinion will please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. The clerk will please conduct the party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 votes opposed.
Green Party.
11 votes in support.
New Zealand First.
7 votes opposed.
Māori Party. Mana.
1 vote in support.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 against.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 73, the noes are 40. The motion is agreed to. The question now is that Part 2 stand part. All those in favour please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. No. The ayes have it. Party vote has been called for. The clerk will please conduct the party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
32 opposed.
Green Party.
11 in favour.
New Zealand First.
7 votes opposed.
Māori Party. Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United
1
Future.
in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 opposed.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 73, the noes are 40. Part 2 will stand part. The question now is that clause 1 and point of order, the Honourable
Before you
Trevor
get on
Mallow.
to that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I deliberately waited until you'd put the vote in order not to be sort of disorderly, but I do want to ask you if you can explain your reasoning with regard to the latest set of calls. Mr. Speaker, I think we all, Mr. Chairman, we all know that that it is the discretion of the Chairman as to who is called, and I'm not going to argue with that, sir, but it does seem to me to be particularly surprising that the normal rules of seniority within a party were not used on this particular occasion. Mr. Speaker, my colleague, who is the 4th ranked member of the Labour caucus, sits on the front bench, made repeated attempts to get the call, but a number of us more junior members, as far as the current seniority arrangements were concerned, were called, including it right at the end. I think the youngest member of the Labour Party caucus, Mr. Lees-Galloway. Mr. Speaker, it might be the fact that he's the spokesperson. You are recognising that, Mr. Chairman, but it does, Mr. Chairman, I would like an explanation as to the criteria that you are now using, and because, Mr. Speaker, at first glance it does look a bit awful.
All right, can I just thank the Honourable...
Speaking further to that point,
of course, Mr. Hipkins, you may entitled to speak.
And my contribution will be, well, my question will be very brief in regard to this, and I wonder whether you could elucidate for us that, in fact, whether somebody is the primary spokesperson for an issue for a party is one of the factors that you consider in making a decision around who you call in a debate such as this, because I'm aware, for example, Mr. Lees-Galloway was seeking the call for quite some time before he got one on the debate on this particular party. In fact, he is the Labour Party's primary spokesperson on the matter.
Yeah. Can I just point the member to speaking rights 25(5), and how the party utilises its speaking and question rights is an internal matter for the party to determine. I can say that in recognising Mr Ian Lees-Galloway, he is the spokesperson for the Labour Party, and so he took precedence in that particular instance, and I'm quite happy with the decision I made. As also, of course, it's the chairperson is the sole judge. Now, where were we? The question is that clause 1 and 2 stand apart. I call the honourable member Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr.